You know, when you're on the road as much as we are, several weeks at a time, there's tons of things to take with you. I usually take some tie bridles or working headpieces, some work bridles, and of course some fancier pieces, show bridles. Take all those things with us. There's not only a lot of stuff, but there's categories of things to bring with us. And throughout history, man has attempted to do the very same thing, to categorize men according to their personality studies and so forth. And while they're fruitful and there's some benefit to that, they really aren't nearly as beneficial as knowing the categories that God tends to put us in. There are three categories that God puts every man in: the natural man, the spiritual man, and the carnal man. And everybody is one of those three categories. I think we're going to have a little fun today as we look at those three categories. Plus, on top of that, I think you'll enjoy sharing about the one who helps us move from one category into another. God defines man in one of three categories based on their response to his calling. And that's really what we're here to show today. We're going to use three different horses and talk about their responses to the trainer. And the first response we're going to look at is called the natural response. The natural response, coming from the natural horse, means that he has a natural desire and a natural expression of his will. When he's afraid, he'll run. When he's upset, he expresses anger. And it doesn't really matter who he expresses his anger at. When the horse is insecure, he may move into us. Or when he's willful, if I happen to touch him in a way that he doesn't like, he'll kick, because the natural man says, "Leave me alone. I have no time for you. I don't need you." And so he defends himself, as you can see right here. He's afraid, but he's also defensive. He's pushing himself to naturally protect himself. He is naturally defensive. He is naturally self-willed. That's essential for survival. But that also is the precursor to the conflict in the relationship that happens between man and horse. So as I touch this colt, you see his natural instinct. You say, well, that's not evil. No, it's not evil at all. Not wrong. He must have natural desires or he won't eat, he won't reproduce, he won't protect himself, etc. However, the natural man left being untrained, undealt with, begins to be offensive to all. Even a young child having natural desires will cry and demand that the whole family schedule center around the desire of that child. And that's, though it's natural, it doesn't make it harmonious, it doesn't make it righteous. And so we begin to see, just as the child needs trained, so too does the horse. And so the horse, because of his natural will, he's dangerous, he's self-willed, he's powerful, and he's aggressively defiant, as this colt is, because he doesn't want anybody touching or exposing his natural will and taking away his right to be in control. You see, if I go to touch him on the leg a little bit, just touch him a little bit, and he's very angry and very kicky, and he begins to think that not only if I resist you, but if I go after you and become aggressive towards you, this colt's not had much work at all, then I will win because I will rule over you. I don't want anybody to rule over me. And that's the mindset of the natural man. Not all men look that aggressive. Not all men seem that angry. But if you push any man, cross him, you'll find that within every man is the potential to kill, to offend, to grieve others because of their own selfishness. Now the Bible says, realize that in the last days difficult times will come. Why the last days? Because men become more and more self-centered. Difficult times will come because as you have more and more natural men have more and more expression of themselves, it'd be like having more and more of an unbroke colt. You have more and more of a commitment for that horse to get his own will and his own way.